because I know you have an aesthetic taste and what you want.
I've heard that about me.
So if David was picking out faucet handles and I was picking out, I bet David and I would come up with two different styles, and you were going to come up with a third one. So how do you want to handle that if David and I pick the one that...
Because that comes back to the other factor here, guys, I need to see options.
You're in a creative frame of mind and you want to come up with the best possible scenario. You want to see what the possibilities are out there.
Just exactly like we did with the windows. So all I need for you to do is print off and just say, Alan, here's a fixture, it's this much. Here's a fixture, I'm talking about, you know, and here's one.
Yeah. Now, we're not always going to be able to come up with three options because of timing. You know, if I get 3 different electricians out there and 3 different plumbers, I mean, they're going to know what's going on, and then sometimes they won't respond. They know they're getting a bidding, they're in a bidding, they want to spend the time to do it.
We can't afford just to take the first guy that shows up and gives us an estimate. You know, we need to see if there's somebody out there a little hungrier who's willing to do it for a little less money.
My job in this whole process is to stay in the budget and try to constrain the client, you know, with some of the choices, so that at the end of the project, everybody's happy.
I want to make sure, David, that you or both of us, when we decide on electrical and plumbing, I want to be sensitive to the number of outlets and the cost per outlet, because I want people to understand that when you start adding outlets, you're starting to add money.
Right. We're trying to figure out exactly what we need and do no more, because more costs more and we don't have more to spend.
I can buy a vanity for $96. I love it, and I'm going to take it to John Kloss and have him paint it and put a car finish paint job on it.
John has taken some old furniture that I found before and he's put like this car finish on it. It's just fabulous. It's an enamel finish. It just looks great.
Probably the next time we talk to Alan about the budget number, once we finish 2 things that are happening right now, then Alan's going to go, yikes. He's really going to go, oh. And then his brain's going to have to kick in, and he's going to have to even be more creative on the inside. And are we okay with even some open shelving pieces?
Absolutely.
We can do that too.
Absolutely.
So this is the only way we can save money.
And I want to do corrugated tin on the roof in the kitchen, and I want to use open beams like this. And anywhere like in the kitchen, if we need to do some baffling material, what would be a green choice?
Some green options for soundproofing walls are either building the wall with staggered studs in the first place, which cuts down on sound bridging through the wall. The other option that I actually prefer is the foam gasket on the stud. And the reason why, even though foam may not be the greenest material, is that you're only using a small roll of material to actually accomplish soundproofing, as opposed to a truck full of insulation.
What I'm interested in doing is creating this house with no drywall.
That may involve David and Energy Star about these interior walls.
So drywall is kind of like the interior air barrier. It's a continuous surface, and once it's taped and mudded, and caulked, it's a very airtight wall finish. What we're going to have to do with what Alan is wanting to do with OSB, or oriented strand board, or plywood, is make sure that all of those joints are either taped, caulked really well, or sealed really tight.
Hey, caulk is cheap.
We'll have a field inspection right after insulation is installed. And that's before we put the finished material, and then we'll have one more inspection and a blower door test right before the house is complete.
A blower door test is basically just to find out the air tightness of the house.
And that's where we're going to know if the drywall's going to work.
I'm going to be there for the blower door test.
But that's where we're going to find out if we've sealed up the space tight enough, and if we have to go back and add more caulk, or find another way to seal wherever those air leaks are.
I'm going to tell you, Tony, on all that OSB that he put around the entire house, every piece of that's caulk.
This house is going to be full of a lot of caulk.
If you're going to use this pine, let's just run it right into the bathroom.
Just make sure you get a good durable paint that's waterproof. That's going to be the one thing that is going to make that difference.
We'll be cupping up real quick.
We were looking at that fake wood floor. I mean, it's not really fake. It's just a thin veneer of hardwood. I'd just rather be honest and just do pine boards, and we're going to paint them, and it's going to look great.
Is mirror expensive?
Who?
Mirror. Mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
It's not that expensive, no.
It can be offensive. If there's a small piece of wall and I don't want to put tile on it and it's in front of a lavatory, why not let that be the cover for the wall?
Yeah.
I can mount that on an OSB board and that's cheap.
Yeah.
We got to get creative.
In this cottage, you know, any chance that we can use a mirror on the wall, like the whole wall be mirror, I'm going to look into that because it's going to make these tiny bathrooms feel larger. And the fact that we can mount it directly onto OSB board, I think it's going to save money.
This is the money we've spent, and this includes the windows, up to date on the labor, up to date on the framing from the lumber company.
Right.
But what we've spent, what we have in the house,
Right.
is, you know, right at a little less than $38,000.